AITAH for not inviting my best friend on a girls' trip because she always wants to bring her baby and always wants us to change our plans to cater to said baby? Posted by you/agitated health 4692. I, 22F, and my girls go on a girls' trip every December since we all have breaks from uni. We're a group of 6 girls and have been doing this since we were 18. We weren't able to go last year because of COVID. My best friend, 21F, has a 14-month-old son. Since her son was born, we haven't had a day alone with her, which I guess is understandable because she is a new mum. We tried to include her in all the plans we had since having her child, but noticed she would always ask if we could change what the plan was to accommodate her baby coming too. This meant the plan was almost always a coffee shop. I genuinely didn't mind changing all of the plans to be more child-friendly and just assumed she couldn't get her man or parents to watch her baby for a while. I called her a few weeks ago to ask if she wanted to come to a club with us, and she asked if we could go to a coffee shop instead so she could bring her baby. I asked if there was no one who could watch her baby. She lives with her husband, who works from home, and her in-laws, to which she replied that she'd feel insane mum guilt if she goes to a club and leaves her baby at home. I said I understood but that I really needed a night out, and we could do coffee the next day. She texted me the following day asking why I had such a big problem having her child around. I was baffled because I'm the one constantly changing plans to accommodate her son, but I asked her to understand me for one night. I really needed a night out and didn't want to be in a coffee shop. She sounded agitated by my reasoning but left it at that. Now, the girls' trip is coming in a week. I didn't really tell her about the trip because I knew she couldn't come alone, but she heard it from another friend. She jokingly asked why I didn't invite her, to which I laughed it off because I felt so awkward. I told her she was welcome to come as always and I would love to have her there. I thought the call was an indication that she would come alone. She called the next day to ask if the resort we were going to stay at was child-friendly. I said it wasn't, as we were looking for more of a club atmosphere, and that's what it was. She then said she couldn't make it if it wasn't going to properly accommodate her son in the activities we do. I said I understand and that I'm sorry. I got a call from her older sister last night calling me all sorts of names because I didn't want my best friend's son to come on the girls' trip and that I'm being childish. I'm genuinely still in such shock and don't know how to even type what I'm feeling right now. We haven't had proper fun together in ages because it's either we're too busy caring for my best friend's baby, or a few of us were missing because of COVID, etc. This is the first time we've all been together since we graduated undergrad and started our masters. We've been having hectic years and just wanted one carefree holiday. So, am I the jerk for wanting our annual girls' trip to actually be a girls' trip? Edit to add, I tried to hint once that I wanted my birthday a few months ago to be just us, but she laughed it off and made a joke about how her and her son are attached to the hip and she couldn't leave him. She asked if we could minimize how much alcohol there was going to be so she could bring her son. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Not the jerk, it goes both ways. You make an effort to accommodate her needs. Does she make one to accommodate yours? Granted, she is a mother now, so her priority is her child. Did you cut her off when she was pregnant? No, you didn't. Did you cut her off after the 3rd time? I assume there have been 3 occasions from the way you describe it. She asked you to change your wants to accommodate her needs? No, you accommodated her. Did you simply not invite her on the holiday? Not by the sounds of it. It sounds like you extended the invitation, and she rejected it as it is. It's strange that she is so concerned with what you do on your own time. If she can't make it, that's not your fault. If she doesn't want to get childcare, that's not your fault. You're your own person, and she is hers. You each have your own life, and not all social interactions must overlap. Why can't you go to the club without her and then meet up with her in the future at a coffee shop also? I'm sure you have been unable to attend certain social events because of personal circumstances. Does that mean every other person going to that event can no longer go? Of course not. A conscious and repeated effort has been made on your part. You haven't shown examples here of selfishness by any means. You get to have your own social life too, in the way you want to have it. Ops response. It's been a lot more than 3 occasions. Also, she doesn't like it when the 5 of us go out together without her. I can understand how that must make her feel, but for her to ask us not to go clubbing and to just go with her to a coffee shop instead every time rubs me the wrong way. I posted a picture of myself on a date at a pub on Instagram, and she messaged me saying, "Have you become an alcoholic for a Tinder date?" What does that even mean? Commenter 2. I'm going to go with not the jerk, but be prepared to potentially lose that friendship. You're allowed to invite whoever you want to the girls' night, but maybe have a separate, more low-key get-together with the best friend if you still want to stay friends. I don't think it's fair for her to bring the baby every single time, but I also don't think it's fair to only do adult-exclusive activities. Ops response. Yeah, for sure, but I think that's what the problem is. 99% of the time we meet up, we go to the park or a cafe so she can bring her son. We rarely ever do anything without her and her son, which is why we are desperate for this girl's trip. We love her and her son, but it's been a long time since we've had actual fun, to be honest. Commenter 3. It's not your fault that you and your other friends want to do something else and actually enjoy your time. She made a choice to have a baby young and now wants to make sure that all of her friends live as if they too have made this choice? No fun can be had that doesn't include her child? Nope, nopety nope nope. Also, you're more than entitled to not want to spend time with a literal baby. What this sounds like to me is a spoiled girl who made a choice and now never wants to feel like she's missing out on anything, so she'll guilt you into thinking you're the immature one, for wanting to do things that are perfectly normal for your age group. She needs to go make some mommy friends, and they can all spend time picking half-digested Cheerios out of each other's hair and comparing their kids' bowel movements or whatever. Ops response. It took having a conversation with the rest of the girls, after showing them this comment section, to realize exactly this. One of the girls has been in a 6-year relationship with her boyfriend, and our friend keeps criticizing their choice not to get married and have kids since they've been together for 6 years. They're both 21. And I'm also judged by her for going out on dates. It's very difficult for her to grasp that not everyone wants her lifestyle. Update 1 month later. So, for anyone who read my previous post and shared their advice, thank you, and here's an update. We went on our girls' trip and had the best week we've had since before COVID started. We all kind of chose not to speak about the issue with our friend and just have a good time, planning to sort out the issue when we got back home. The day after we returned, I texted my best friend and asked if we could come over to see her and her son, and also to deliver the gifts we had gotten them during the trip. She read the message and hadn't replied for 3 days. I called her husband just to ask if she was okay, and he said she was and that he didn't know why she wasn't responding to me. Anyway, I decided not to double text, as I didn't want to nag her. She texted back after 3 days with an essay-like response explaining how disappointed she felt that I thought she would give up days of motherhood just to drink and be a skank. Good to know what she thinks of us then, lol. She ended the message by saying she and her husband are trying for another baby and she doesn't have the mental capacity to deal with our crap. After that, she left all the group chats and blocked us all on every social media platform. So, that's that, I guess. Best friends since year 4, and this is how our friendship has ended. Still baffled, to be honest, but maybe it was for the best. Hoping I'll see the good in this one day. Thank you so much to everyone who responded, and Happy New Year, everyone. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Most people grow apart from their childhood friendships, and sometimes it happens very abruptly. She made the decision to have a child at a very young age. That is a life-changing thing, and it makes sense that she is giving up a lot of things that people experience in their 20s. The problem is that she expected her entire group of friends to give up those same things to accommodate her and reacted coldly when you all continue to live your lives the same way most people do in their early 20s. It sounds like you guys made a lot of concessions for her over the past 2 years, and if she can't appreciate that, you are probably better off without her. Op responding to someone telling her the best friend is in an abusive marriage. Just to clear some things up, we actually know and are friends with her husband. He has contacted us several times, asking us to take her out to a spa or something, which he'll pay for, because she doesn't get time away from the baby, but she picks a fight with him and says she doesn't want to be away from the baby. She doesn't even allow him to take the baby out by himself. He is older than her, and she is a housewife by choice. She keeps saying how lucky she is to be married to a man who will provide for her and let her be a full-time mom. A lot of people seem to have the same theory as you, but I genuinely don't see it as her being influenced by anyone. She thinks motherhood means being with your child 24/7. I mentioned this in the previous post's comments, but she criticizes our other friends, and any mother, really, who goes anywhere without their baby. She's even against taking her child to kindergarten and the early years of school because she thinks she won't be ready to let them go. She has a one-dimensional view of what motherhood is, and I don't think anyone can change that. Also, her in-laws always offer to babysit and tell my friend to go on a date with her husband or do things she likes, but she declines. There's no one she feels is good enough to take care of her child. Even her own mother has never been alone with her grandchild.